Sport cameras welcome you along to Reading, England for the first leg of the 1992 Gold Cup final. The two teams taking part are the Reading Racers and the Wolverhampton Wolves. There we see the lineup representing Reading: Per Jönsson from Sweden, Dave Mullett at number 2, Jeremy Doncaster 3, Ray Morton 4, Armando Castagna 5, and the two reserves Phil Morris and Jan Anderson. For the Wolverhampton side, coming to Smallmead this afternoon, Gordon Kennett rides at 1, Ronnie Corrie 2, Peter Carson, a familiar name, rides at 3, Charles Ermolenko at 4, Sam Ermolenko 5, and their two reserves Nigel Lever at 6 and Stephen Morris at number 7. Without further ado, let's go down to the trackside to join the riders as they come to the tapes for heat number 1, which has been very, very well watered by this morning's rain. Track conditions is going to be a little bit tricky, so let's join the riders then as they go up to the line for this opening race. So heat number 1, Jönsson red, Dave Mullett in blue, Ronnie Corrie in yellow and black, and Gordon Kennett in white. And straight away it's Jönsson who gets to the front, coming out of the second turn. Corrie trying to drive round the outside of him, but Jönsson's got there. Per Jönsson in red for Reading leads. Ronnie Corrie in yellow black tucked in behind him. The muck being thrown up by the back wheels, which is totally filling in the riders behind the pack. In third place at the moment is Gordon Kennett and Dave Mullett back in fourth position. So it's Per Jönsson, the former world champion, of course, from Sweden, who leads heat number 1. 2 laps now gone. Ronnie Corrie in yellow still in second place, just waiting for the mistake to come from Jönsson and it through, and a separate battle for third and fourth positions as well. So the rain, which just came down late morning here at Smallmead, flooding the track, and the track strap working well on the surface, and the delay in the start time of about 1.5 hours, hopefully trying to dry out the circuit. It's, well, let's just say it's got underway. We'll keep our fingers crossed that it does dry out and the rack condition gets a little bit better as we go on, but it's Per Jönsson who comes and take the win in heat number 1. Second place goes to Ronnie Corrie, third place to Gordon Kennett. So heat number 1 is a shared race. It's 3 points for a win, 2 for second, 1 for coming third. So it's Reading on 3, Wolverhampton on 3, and Per Jönsson from Reading is the winner of the opening race here in the first leg of the 1992 Gold Cup final. Here we see Jan Anderson from Reading, a very, very good reserve for them in the months of August and September. He rides in blue. His partner in red is Phil Morris, a youngster just breaking into the sport. And for Wolverhampton, Nigel Lever rides in white, and Stephen Morris is in yellow-black. 3 to each side after heat number 1. This is heat number 2. Up with the tapes, those engines roar into that turn, and Jan Anderson has got there, which is not really totally unexpected. Anderson leads, but Phil Morris is in second place, just under pressure now from the rider in white, which is Nigel Lever. Bit of argy-bargy between those two, and now Phil Morris heads clear of those two Wolf riders. So at the moment it's Reading first and Reading second, which is the maximum heat advantage. Still back in third place is Nigel Lever. So Jan Anderson, the veteran from Sweden, had his testimonial season for the races back in 1989, won a league championship medal with the club in 1980 and in 1990. So a tremendous campaigner for the Reading team, having a spell at reserve which is proved quite successful both for him and the team in general. And it's Anderson with 1 more lap to go. Phil Morris in second place. Nigel Lever still in third position. And it looks as though Reading are going to take the lead in heat number 2, barring any unforeseen accidents on the final 2 bends on a treacherous track at this moment here at Smallmead. But it's Anderson who takes the win. Second place is Phil Morris, and in third position, a long way back, is Nigel Lever. So it's the Reading Racers who take an early lead, heat number 2, a 5-1 heat advantage. They now lead Wolverhampton by 8 points to 4, and Jan Anderson gets the checker flag first for his win in that particular race. So the Gold Cup competition is fought over 2 legs. This afternoon is at Smallmead Stadium, and the 2 teams travel up to Monmore Green tomorrow evening before we know who is the winner. So 30 heats of speedway before we know the outcome of the 1992 Gold Cup final. Last season it was Berwick who were the champions. They defeated Oxford over 2 legs. As we move on to heat number 3, which is Armando Castagna red, Ray Morton blue for Reading, and the 2 Ermolenko brothers, Charles and Sam for in white and yellow and black, and straight away it's the Wolverhampton pair who hit the front. Sam Ermolenko and his brother Charles in yellow and black, and Sam just chucked in nicely behind him. They really did speed from the tapes. Electric start from those 2 boys. They know what the conditions are going to be like. They know they've got to get out in front to miss all the flying shale. Armando Castagna in third position, going out very wide. So it looks as though Wolverhampton are going to claw their way back in this one. Charles Ermolenko leads in yellow from his brother Sam, tucked in nicely behind him. 2 laps gone on his 307-metre circuit at Smallmead. Wolverhampton, of course, are the current league champions, and Reading won the title back in 1990, so 2 of the leading clubs in British Speedway at this moment in time, with 1 more lap to go in heat number 3. Charles Ermolenko still leading, looking very neat and tidy. His brother, well, not doing anything silly, just making sure that the opposition stays at bay. And in the Speedway, you get paid for the win if you follow your team man home. As Manu Castagna hits the mud. So we're in the final 2 bends of heat number 3. They're looking set for a 5-1 for the opposition Wolves. As Charles Ermolenko gets the win. His brother Sam is in 2nd place. Ray Morton coasting home for the solitary point. So another 5-1, this time to Wolverhampton, with the 2 Ermolenko boys doing the biz. So after 3 heats, the scores are locked together. It's Reading 9 and Wolverhampton 9. Charles Ermolenko getting a good win in heat number 3. Riders coming up to the line for heat number 4. There we see Jeremy Doncaster in red. Jem, as you know, English international, several seasons with Ipswich before they pulled out of the league, and he moved cross country to Reading. His partner is Phil Morris in blue. Peter Carlson being excluded for 2-minute time allowance, and Nigel Lever and Stephen Morris, the 2 riders for Wolverhampton. It's Jeremy Doncaster and Phil Morris who've got there for Reading, but look at Lever coming around the outside of Phil Morris. A good manoeuvre by him. Phil Morris back on him. The crowd at Smallmead here under the stand as the rain still falls, getting excited with that manoeuvre. Doncaster leaves Phil Morris and Nigel Lever, oh, together, and down goes Lever. Lever hits the deck and Phil Morris carries on, and certainly Lever does not look very happy with that at all. And we have to say it looked very much as though Phil Morris went underneath and took Lever's leg from him. But at this moment in time, the race has been stopped. We wait to see what this referee is going to do this afternoon. It's Mick Barnes from Devon. Let's take another look in the slow motion cameras, which we can assure you that the referee does not have at his availability. So Doncaster well in front. At this stage, Lever on the outside and Phil Morris on the inside, and it, well, was there any contact? It certainly looked so from the other camera position on the first turn, and Nigel Lever, I'm sure, will argue his case to the referee. Still, he's glad to be back in Speedway. Had a spell with Mildenhall before their closure back at the start of the season, and just was glad when Wayne Carter was injured and he stepped into the Wolverhampton team. So the restart, Nigel Lever being excluded by the referee as cause of the stoppage. So Jeremy Doncaster rides in red, Phil Morris blue, and Stephen Morris in yellow. Restart of heat number 4. Straight into that first turn, and Doncaster yet again with the lead, but this time Phil Morris is being battling with Stephen Morris, but Phil Morris overcomes the challenge. Phil Morris now in 2nd place, and down goes Stephen Morris. Bearing in mind there's no team member with him, he's got to get on his feet again to try and get going for that point. Doncaster leads. 2nd place, Phil Morris. Stephen Morris now remounted and coming round. Doncaster still leads. And down goes Stephen Morris again onto the track, and it's all happening here at Smallmead this afternoon. There you see Stephen Morris now being lapped up. Phil Morris does the actual acrobats, but goes on round. I'm sure now Reading are going to get a 5-0 heat advantage. Doncaster gets the win. Coming round to take 2 points is Phil Morris. So it ends up as 5-0 to Reading in heat number 4. 3 stagings of this particular race, but eventually it's Reading on a 5-0. There we see Jeremy Doncaster and Phil Morris having all sorts of acrobats, and it's 14-9 in Reading favour. Join us after the break. To a very wet Smallmead Stadium in Reading for the first leg of the 1992 Gold Cup final, the Reading Racers versus Wolverhampton. 14 plays 9 in Reading's favour at this moment in time as we move on to heat number 5, which sees Armando Castagna ride in red for Reading. His partner in blue is Ray Morton. For Wolverhampton, in white is Gordon Kennett, and yellow and black, pint-sized Californian Ronnie Corrie. So just to recall, these two sides meet this afternoon over 15 heats, and the conclusion takes part tomorrow evening up there at Monmore Green before we know the outcome of the 1992 Gold Cup final. Under starting orders for heat number 5, up go the tapes, those engines roar into action, and yet again it's Ronnie Corrie and Armando Castagna. You've got the Corrie, and down goes the rider in white, which is Gordon Kennett. He's hit the desk, on goes the other 3 riders. Let's take another look and see what happened as the tapes rose on this one. Corrie gets a good start, goes across Ray Morton. Armando Castagna gets a good start, tries to drive round the outside of Ronnie Corrie, which begins to lock up. Seems that Gordon Kennett just tried to cut back on the inside of them and basically just slid into no man's land. Down he goes. But the referee decides all 4 back for the restart of heat number 5. Track conditions proving just a little bit difficult, as you can see here at Smallmead this afternoon, but with these 2 teams in every still remaining cup and league fixture and competition, they don't want this one postponed. The fixture list is already full up as we get underway for the restart of heat number 5. Yet again, it's Corrie who's got there. Corrie leads in yellow, Castagna and Ray Morton tucked in behind him, but it's the pint-sized Californian Ronnie Corrie who leads heat number 5. Ray Morton blue, 2nd place, Armando Castagna 3rd, and Gordon Kennett, the faller, first time out, back in 4th position. So good old Ronnie Corrie, 3 world final appearances, 4 now to his name, and hasn't really established himself in the big world final appearances. Yet to do that, but very good in the American test side, already beating England 2-0, with 1 more still to go at Swindon, meeting we'll see here on Screen Sport later in our series, and also helping the Americans to the World Pairs Championship, and one of the foursome which goes to Cumberland next Saturday for the World Team Cup final. 1 more lap to go in heat number 5, and Ronnie Corrie really leading by the proverbial mile. Races, of course, for Gotland in the Swedish Elite League. They're back in 3rd position in that league at the moment in time, so doing rather well is our Ronnie Corrie. He comes over his shoulder, but he comes up to take the win. It's Corrie who gets there. 2nd place is Ray Morton, and Armando Castagna back in 3rd position. So heat number 5 is a drawn race. 3 points apiece and a progressive score now after 5 races. The Reading Racers move on to 17, and the Wolverhampton Wolves are on 12, and it's a good win, an easy win for the rider in yellow and black, Ronnie Corrie, in heat number 5. So just something more about this cup competition, as I've already told you, Berwick are the current holders of this, but they're now down, of course, in Division 2 of the Home Far League. So this season there's going to be a new winner. Whether it be Wolverhampton or Reading, you will not know until around about 9 p.m. tomorrow evening up there at Monmouth Green. Heat number 6 is next on the agenda, with Per Jonsson riding in red. His partner in blue is Dave Mullett. For Wolverhampton in white is Peter Carlson, Nigel Lever coming in yellow and black. Heat number 6. Up to go the tapes, the clutches drop, fixed gears, and they roared to that first turn, and it's Jonsson who's got in red. Jonsson leads, Peter Carlson in 2nd place, Dave Mullett 3rd. That's the order down the back straight on the first lap, but it's Jonsson who's got pole position at this moment in time with 1 lap gone. Peter Carlson behind him in 2nd place, having a very, very good season is Peter Carlson, not only in England, but with Mariestad as well in the Swedish Elite League. Twice Swedish Speedway champion. The fella in front of him, Per Jonsson, has done that feat on 3 occasions, 3 consecutive years, 86, 87 and 88, and Carlson in 89 and 91, so bags of experience between them. But Jonsson still leads heat number 6. Still Peter Carlson in 2nd place and Dave Mullett 3rd. Dave Mullett getting filled in just a little bit at the back. He celebrates his testimonial season with the races this year in just a couple of weeks' time here at Smallmead. They're coming out to take the win in heat number 6. It's Per Jonsson that gets there first. 2nd place goes to Peter Carlson, and Dave Mullett back in 3rd position. So heat number 6 is a 4-2 heat advantage to the home club, the Reading Racers. They now extend the lead. It's now 21 to the Reading Racers and 14 to the Wolves. And Per Jonsson gets a good win, easy win for his standards. No challenge coming from Peter Carlson after the first lap in heat number 6. So that's the way they line up. It's 21 to 14. We move on to heat number 7, which sees the Ermolenko boys for Wolverhampton. This pairing got a 5-1 for them last time out. That was in heat number 3. The opposition this time is Jeremy Doncaster in red, Phil Morris in blue, and Charles Ermolenko is in yellow and black. Sam Ermolenko is in white. That's the way they line up for heat number 7, with 21 playing 14 in Reading's favour. Engines roar into that first turn. Doncaster locked on the inside of the 2. Ermolenko boys have yet again got the drive. This time it's Sam in the lead, Charles, his brother, behind him. So a great manoeuvre by the Ermolenko boys as the Wolverhampton fans begin to cheer here at Smallmead. It's been a long wait for all the fans, some 1.5 hours before racing has got underway, which is no fault of anybody. We've just tried to get the old track dried a little bit so the racing can take place. A wise move, and I'm sure a good one. At this stage in heat number 7, it's Wolverhampton who are going to claw their way back in this Gold Cup final. First leg, I know that Reading's team manager Tim Sugar was looking for something in the region of a 10-point lead to take to Monmouth Green tomorrow evening, and his counterpart Peter Adams just wanted the scores as close as possible, if not a Wolverhampton win. And certainly at this moment in time, the Ermolenko boys are going to reduce the deficit somewhat. Looking very, very fast from the start of these two, and that's just all you need. Is it's Sam Ermolenko gets the win, his brother Charles tucked in behind him, and Jeremy Doncaster in third position. So Ermolenko's get the 5-1 lead advantage in this heat number 7. That reduces the arrears. It's now 22 to Reading and 19 to Wolverhampton. Here's the delight of the Wolverhampton fans who have made their way down, and I'm sure they're quite pleased with the result of heat number 7. Heat number 8. The rain stops, a little bit of bright sky at long last here at Smallmead, which I'm sure will not go amiss for the fans alike. The lineup for this one: Dave Mullett rides in red for Reading, his partner Jan Anderson in blue. For Wolverhampton, Ronnie Corrie in white in gate number 4. They're just having a bit of conflab with the starting marshal, mud-splattered starting marshal, and in yellow-black is Stephen Morris. Well, gating, as you can probably appreciate in any sort of sport, motorsport is quite essential, but with conditions like this, it's very, very important to be in some sort of challenging position in the first and second bends, because after that, if you go out very wide, you'll get filled in by a lot of mud which is being thrown up by the back wheels of these machines. Starting marshal getting anxious with the riders as they now come in to the line. 22 plays 19 in Reading's favour at this moment in time. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is heat number 8. Up go the tapes, the engines roar into action, and the first one to show is Corrie, who drives round the riders on that first turn, and that was from gate number 4. What a fabulous start from him. There's still better starters in the game than the Americans, and Ronnie Corrie's certainly showing us what he's going to be doing next Saturday, he hopes, in that World Team Cup final in Kumlin, Sweden. Jan Anderson tucked in behind him, and Stephen Morris in third position, which is just a little bit of a surprise, and Dave Mullett tailed off in 4th place. So Wolverhampton certainly coming back with a bang in the last 2 races here at Smallmead. Ronnie Corrie leads, the track's beginning to dry out a bit, and all the shale being moved out to the outside of the circuit. 307-metre circuit here at Smallmead, with the track record standing at 58.1, currently held by Per Jönsson. So it's Corrie that leads, still Jan Anderson in 2nd place, Stephen Morris 3rd. So another heat advantage for Wolverhampton, which is going to bring the old Scholes on the ball very close, and it's Corrie who gets the win. 2nd place is Jan Anderson, 3rd place, and a good one for him is Stephen Morris. So it's a 4-2 heat advantage to Wolverhampton in heat number 8, and at the halfway stage here at Smallmead, just 1 point between the two sides. It's the Reading racers on 24, the Wolverhampton on 23. Let's take a look at the individual scoreboard. The racers 24 is made up with Jönsson unbeaten on 6, Mullett just 1, Doncaster 4, Morton 3, Amanda Castagna 1. The 2 reserves playing their part, Phil Morris on 4 and Jan Anderson on 5. Reading's total after 8 races, 24. Wolverhampton 1 point behind on 23, Gordon Kennick 1, Corrie 8, Carlson 2, Ermolenko 5, Lee Ermolenko 5, Leverett 1 and Morris 1. Join us for more Speedway after the break. Welcome back to the Royal County of Berkshire, Smallmead Stadium in Reading for the continuation of this Gold Cup final, first leg between Reading Racers and Wolverhampton. Just 1 point between the two sides at this moment as we move on to heat number 9, 24-23 in Reading's favour. The lineup for heat number 9, Amanda Castagna there in red, the mud-spattered Amanda Castagna, well everybody is these days in these conditions. Jan Anderson, his partner in blue, Peter Carlson there in white going into gate number 1, and his partner in yellow-black is Nigel Lever. So 24 plays 23 in Reading's favour, and really is very tight, very tense out there. No side wants the other one to get so far in front as we look now for the action of heat number 9. Up go the tapes into that first bend they speed, and Castagna's got there. Amanda Castagna leads. 2nd place is Peter Carlson, Nigel Lever now going on in front of him, and Jan Anderson back in 4th place, which is just a little bit of a surprise for Reading. But Amanda Castagna leads. Nigel Lever doing an excellent job for Wolverhampton, and Peter Carlson, I'm sure, been told by his team manager just to try and keep this one all square. Now trying to make sure that Nigel Lever is well covered in 2nd place. I'm sure that's the order of the day in Peter Carlson's mind at the moment. Jan Andersen has other thoughts and tries to make up ground on Peter Carlson. That's really where the battle lies in heat number 9. Armando Castagna way in front and unaware of what's going on behind him in this one. There's Castagna, multi-world finalist, of course, from Italy. Last lap of heat number 9, he leads. Still in second place is Nigel Lever, and this is a good ride from him. Peter Carlson tucked in nicely behind him, which leaves no way for Jan Andersen to come through. So coming up to take his first win of the afternoon, it's Armando Castagna that gets there. Second place, and a good one for him, is Nigel Lever, and Peter Carlson back in third position. So heat number 9 is a drawn heat, 3 points apiece, 3 points to each side. 27 now to Reading against Wolves 26, and as longer this match goes on, the more intriguing it becomes. But it's Armando Castagna that gets to the checker flag in pole position in heat number 9. Racers coming to the line for heat number 10, which sees Per Jonsson ride in red. In blue is Dave Mullett. For Wolverhampton, Charles Ermolenko rides in white. Stephen Morris rides in yellow and black. Just 1 point between the two sides, 27 plays 26. And we look now to see what's going to be the outcome of this particular heat. Just to remind you that the conclusion of this Gold Cup final will not be known until tomorrow evening, when the two sides meet again for the second leg at Monmore Green. So 30 heats at Fine Speedway before the conclusion of this cup competition. Still these teams fighting out in the Home Farm League and of course the Knockout Cup as well, so there's still a lot of speedway in England still to come. But from the tapes, it's Jonsson that fires across the pack. Jonsson leads, Charles Ermolenko now coming under pressure from Dave Mullett. The two clash down the back straight, but just Mullett holding on to second place. So it's blood to Reading at this moment in time. Per Jonsson leads. Second place is Dave Mullett. Third position goes to Charles Ermolenko, who for the first time this afternoon didn't get a good start. His first two races with his brother Sam have resulted in 5-1 heat advantages to Wolverhampton, but not on this occasion. It's Per Jonsson who drove across them in that first turn, and Dave Mullett having a bit of a ding-dong with Juki down the back straight on the first lap, but managing to overcome that challenge. So it's Jonsson in first place, Dave Mullett second, Charles Ermolenko third as we enter the final lap of heat number 10. Down the back straight for the final time, the track beginning to get very, very rideable and raceable, it's fair to say, as the wet shell is moved out to the outside, and it's Per Jonsson coming up for his third win of the afternoon. And for Reading's calls, more importantly, Dave Mullett, his partner, is in second place, and third place goes to Charles Ermolenko. So a 5-1 heat advantage to Reading, which increases their lead now to 5 points. It's Reading moving on to 32 and Wolverhampton on 27, and Per Jonsson getting a win, as we see there the clutch hand of Juki Charles Ermolenko as he chops that clutch from gate number 1, but gets a, well, not too bad a start, but it was soon overtaken by Per Jonsson and Dave Mullett as they go on to get a 5-1 for Reading in heat number 10. Heat number 11, which sees Ronnie Corry and Gordon Kennett. There we see Ronnie Corry trying to get a little bit of grip for his front wheel in the mud here at Smallmead Stadium. Ronnie Corry going into gate number 1. His partner is Gordon Kennett, he's yellow and black. And for the racers, it's Jeremy Doncaster there in red, and his partner Jan Andersen, who's in blue. So, 5 points between the two sides, so no moves of tactical substitutes whatsoever at this moment in time, because the sides are not 6 points apart, which I'm sure will please Tim Sugar, because he knows the strength of Wolverhampton's big two of Ronnie Corry and Sam Ermolenko. But now I'm sure he'd be looking for the teams or his Reading side to pull away, and his counterpart Peter Adams will be looking to keep his riders in very, very close to this scoreline so they get in contention for tomorrow night's second leg up there at Monmore Green. This is heat number 11. Up go the tapes, the engines roar, and the first one to show is, Corry and Donks are very nearly touching, but it's Gordon Kennett and Jan Andersen, the unlikely two that lead. Gordon Kennett in white, who heads the pack as they go into the third and fourth turn. Gordon Kennett, who was signed on by Wolverhampton to overcome the injuries sustained by Graham Jones, who's watching here this afternoon. Gordon Kennett doing a great job here in heat number 11. Fabulous seasons for Gordon in the past down with Eastbourne on the south coast, but now doing a very, very good job for Wolverhampton, it's fair to say. Gordon Kennett leads, Jan Andersen and Jeremy Doncaster tucked in behind him, and Rocket Ronnie Corry back in fourth position at this moment in time. So an unexpected leader, and that's no disrespect to Gordon Kennett whatsoever, but it's Gordon Kennett that leads with one more lap to go. Former world number 2, of course, in the world back in 1978 at Wembley. He leads heat number 11 and looks likely to get his first win. He's got 1 point to his name in the opening race, and Gordon Kennett going to get a win in heat number 11. Heat wins. Second place goes to Jan Anderson, and third place goes to Jeremy Doncaster. So very many congratulations to Gordon Kennett. Fabulous win by him. A good start, and also overcoming the challenge of Jan Anderson down the back straight on the first lap. 3 points to Wolves, 3 points to Reading, and 35 to Reading at this moment in time, and 30 to Wolverhampton. Let's take another look at the start there. Corrie and Doncaster touching each other as they come out of the start, and Gordon Kennett getting the weight, leaning on that machine going into that first turn, and down the back straight he had a dice with Jan Anderson. At that moment onwards it was all plain sailing as he gets the 3 points from heat number 11. Heat number 12 sees Per Jonsson ride in red. His partner is Ray Morton in blue. Peter Carlson rides in white for Reading, and Sam Ermolenko is in yellow and black. Well, there we see Sam Ermolenko. Of course, these two ride in Sweden, Peter Carlson and Sam Ermolenko. Sam Ermolenko these days riding for Västervik, Peter Carlson with Mariestad. Per Jonsson also riding in Sweden for Stockholm, and Ray Morton, the only unlucky one, who's not in Sweden or Poland or anyone these days, but doing quite a good job for the Reading racers. So, 35 plays 30 in Reading's favour. This is heat number 12. Up go the tapes, and the first one to show is Peter Carlson lifts it. Jonsson has got there. Jonsson leads in red. Sam Ermolenko in yellow and black in second place. So first blood to Per Jonsson in red. Sam Ermolenko trying to come round and put on a challenge. 1 lap gone. Ray Morton tucked in behind them in third place, which could be a very important third place, and Peter Carlson in fourth. But it's Jonsson that leads. Ermolenko trying to make up ground on Jonsson as the track dries out, and the racing now gets better and better, race by race. Jonsson red, Ermolenko yellow, Morton blue in that order, with Peter Carlson in fourth position, which is just a little bit of a surprise. But it's Jonsson who comes up to take the flag for one more lap in heat number 12, which will mean 3 more laps of this first leg of the Gold Cup final of 1992. And Jonsson round the final 2 bends of heat number 12 to collect his 4th win of this afternoon here at Smallwood. He wins. Ermolenko in second place, and Ray Morton back in third. And that now means that the scores on the board mean 7 points between the two clubs, as Ermolenko and Per Jonsson shake hands down the back straight, and that means now there's 7 points between the two sides, and this is time for tactical substitutes for Peter Adams and Wolverhampton in heat number 13. We take another look at the smooth action of Per Jonsson, the challenge from Sam Ermolenko. These two really fighting a good battle out in front. But as we look at the scoreboards after heat number 12, Reading racers Jonsson unbeaten on 12, Mullet 3, Doncaster 5, and then 3 riders on 4, Morton, Castagna and Phil Morris, and Jan Anderson at reserve on 7 points. Reading's total on 39 points after heat number 12. We now move to Wolverhampton, who are on 32, 7 points between the two clubs. Kennett 4, Corrie 8, Peter Carlson 4, Charles Ermolenko 6, Sam on 7, and Lever 2, and Morris 1. Join us for the conclusion of this first leg of the Gold Cup final after the break. Smallmead Stadium for the conclusion of the first leg of the 1992 Gold Cup final between Reading and Wolverhampton. Now there is 7 points between the two sides, and the astute Peter Adams now brings in a tactical sub-ride for Sam Ermolenko to partner his brother Charles in heat number 13. The full lineup is Jeremy Doncaster in red, Amanda Castagna in blue, and replacing Gordon Kennett is a tack sub-ride for Sam Ermolenko. He comes in white, and his brother Charles is in yellow and black. These two have already got 2 5-1 heat advantages to the name already. 39 plays 32. This is heat number 13. Straight away, it's a rider in yellow and black, which is Charles Ermolenko, and down goes Doncaster in the mud and in the dirt. Let's take another look in slow-mo exactly what happened there. The rider speed out of the turn, going into that first turn. What exactly happens? Does Sam come out and take Donk's wheel? Well, really was left for nowhere to go, but the referee's decision is all back for the restaging of this particular race, which is good news. In these track conditions, the referee has got just to be a little bit lenient, and Mick Barnes, I'm sure, taking the track condition into consideration. So the full lineup for the restaging, no changes. Jeremy Doncaster in red, Amanda Castagna blue, Sam Ermolenko in white, and Charles Ermolenko in yellow and black. And certainly the Ermolenko boys have played their part so far, as I've already told you Two 5-1 heat advantages in heat number 3 and 7 have played well in Wolverhampton's cause so far. And there's 7 points between the two sides. And I'm sure team manager Peter Adams is hopeful that they can pull something out of the bag in this one. And equally his counterpart Tim Sugar is just hoping that one of the Reading boys can nip out of the trap and just keep them at bay for 4 laps here in heat number 13. It's all about tactics in Knockout Cup Speedway, and even the track conditions playing their part here at Smallmead this afternoon. So the restaging of heat number 13, the green light goes on, up go the tapes, and those engines roar into it, and yet again it is the Yarmolenko boys that have got there. This time it's Charles and his brother Sam tucked in behind him, and really they have given everybody this afternoon a little bit of a lesson in starting techniques, it's fair to say. Per Jonsson has also played his part in starting, but for me, the Yarmolenko boys know what the conditions are all about, know what they had to do, and they've done it extremely well. Already twice this afternoon in heats number 3 and 7, they've done the biz with tremendous spirit and tremendous courage, and looks likely they're just going to repeat the dose and make it 3rd time lucky in heat number 13. And if they do, it will reduce the scores on the board quite drastically and set us up for a nail-biting finish here at Smallmead. Taking the flag for one more lap, it's Charles Yarmolenko that leads, his brother Sam in 2nd place. Armando Castagna trying his hardest to come back, but just not finding anything as these two boys keep him at bay. Round the final 2 bends, coming up to take the win, it's Charles Yarmolenko gets there. Sam, his brother, back in 2nd place, and Armando Castagna back in 3rd. So a 5-1 heat advantage to Wolverhampton, which is just what Peter Adams wanted with his tack-sub manoeuvre, and that closes the gap. It's now 40 to Reading and 37 to Wolverhampton, and the tactical substitutes proving triumphant in heat number 13. So certainly the track conditions beginning to dry out a little bit, which is getting better racing. There is the Gold Cup medal and the Gold Cup trophies for your perusal, which will not be decided, of course, until tomorrow evening up there at Monmore Green. 7:30 start, so around about 8:45 we'll know the outcome of the 1992 Gold Cup final. I'm sure with 3 points on the board that Peter Adams is quite happy with the situation at the moment, and Tim Sugar would now like something in Reading's cause in the final 2 heats. We look at the riders then for heat 14, the penultimate race. Ray Morton rides in red, he goes into gate number 4. Jan Anderson, his partner, is in gate number 2. In white is Sam Yarmolenko, he's in gate 3, and Nigel Lever is in yellow and black in gate number 1. 40 plays 37 in Reading's cause, and this, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is heat number 40. Up go the tapes, the clutches dropped, and the engine spins that turn, and Jan Anderson has got the drop. Jan Anderson just took at Yarmolenko, go around the outside of him. Yarmolenko now takes the lead. Jan Anderson in 2nd place. Ray Morton in 3rd. What a great manoeuvre by Sam Yarmolenko. Great manoeuvre to take in the front round the 2nd turn. Just picked up the drive, rounded Jan Anderson. At this moment in time, looking over his shoulder, dictating the pace of the race, which he can so easily do. Jan Anderson in 2nd position, and it looks as though Ray Morton is looking down at his bike, but he's got mechanical problems. And is that going to play a problem now as Nigel Lever seizes the opportunity to come through, much to the delight of the Wolverhampton fans. Now we have got another heat advantage to Wolverhampton, and they've clawed their way back in this first leg yet again. Yarmolenko, Sam Yarmolenko leads, heat number 14. Jan Anderson 2nd for Reading, and Nigel Lever 3rd. And another heat advantage is Yarmolenko gets a win. Jan Anderson in 2nd place, and Nigel Lever, who's had a very, very busy afternoon, gets the 3rd place. So a 4-2 to Wolverhampton, which means the scores on the board after heat number 14, just 1 point between the two sides. 42 to Reading, plays 41 to Wolverhampton, and it's all up for grabs to see who goes into the 2nd leg tomorrow night is leaders after the 15 heats here at Speedway this afternoon at a very muddy and a very wet Smallmead Stadium. So the riders coming round to the line for heat number 15. It's all down to this one to see who goes into that 2nd leg is leaders. It's Per Jonsson in red and Jan Anderson in blue, the pairing for Reading. Peter Adams' choice for Wolverhampton is Sam Yarmolenko white and his brother Charles Yarmolenko in yellow and black. This pairing has already got 3 5-1 heat advantages to their name and to their team's score chart. Per Jonsson so far unbeaten for Reading, so something's got to give. There's a tapes rise on this very important heat number 15 here at Smallmead this afternoon. Up go the tapes, the engines roar into action, and at this moment it's Per Jonsson who leads. Jonsson in red, and down goes the rider in yellow and white as well. Both of them come down. We wait to see what the referee says of this one. Let's take another look from the first main camera. Jonsson drives across the two of them, and really, well, Sam just loses ground and Charles just loses ground and Sam bails out to avoid the fallen rider. And I suppose it's fair to say the referee has got the right manoeuvre. Wait to see what he's going to do. So Vic Barnes' decision is all four riders back for the restaging of the eventful now heat number 15. And at the climax, it's fair to say, and the driver is just beginning to get the fever pitch here at Smallmead. Referee's decision, all four back, which is a wise move. Jan Anderson blue, Per Jonsson red for Reading, Sam Ermolenko white, Charles Ermolenko yellow and black for Wolverhampton. 1 point advantage to Reading at this moment in time. They want a lead advantage. Wolverhampton do too. They'd like to certainly go with a slight lead into that second leg tomorrow evening at Wolverhampton. Let's see what happens as the tapes rise on the restart of heat number 15. This time it's Ermolenko's who's got the lead, both of them, but it's the rider in yellow-black Charles who makes a muck-up, which lets his brother through, and the Reading pairing as well. So Sam Ermolenko leads. Second place goes to Jan Anderson. Per Jonsson third in that order with 1 lap gone. Charles Ermolenko, the early pace leader, made a terrible mistake on the second bend and let all three of them through. So at this moment in time, if it stays this way, it will be a 1 point slender lead that Reading take to Monmouth Green tomorrow evening. Is Sam Ermolenko leads, Jan Anderson second, Per Jonsson third, and Charles Ermolenko back in fourth position. All action here at Smallmead this afternoon, with the weather playing its part too in the happenings here. Oh, and Ermolenko's pulled up with engine problems, and the Reading fans go absolutely barmy as Jan Anderson and Per Jonsson now drift round, with Charles in third place for a 5-1 lead advantage. Jan Anderson leads and wins, Per Jonsson in second place, and Charles Ermolenko in third place. So a 5-1 lead advantage to Reading. They now lead, or take the win in this first leg by 47 points to 42. Sam Ermolenko, I mean, engine problems on the final lap. There we see sudden Sam. And this, ladies and gentlemen, has to be talked about, because all the controversial between these two riders in the past weeks, Per Jonsson and Sam Ermolenko, comes to nothing. And all the pundits in Speedway magazines that have wanted to put some sort of conflict between these two sides can see now there is nothing whatsoever as Per Jonsson gives Sam Ermolenko a lift back to the pits. And in the final lap of heat number 15, there we see Ermolenko at that moment lock up and go out to the fence, and I'm sure it will be an engine seize in his cause, which done Wolverhampton's cause no good whatsoever. So Reading on 47 at the end of 15 heats. Jonsson unbeaten by an opponent on 14, Mullet 3, Doncaster 5, Morton 4, Castagna 5, Morris 4, and Jan Anderson trump card at reserve yet again on 12 points. Reading's total after 15 heats, 47 points. We then turn to the opposition, who I'm sure won't be too disappointed on 42. Kennett 4, Corey 8, Carlson 4, Charles Ermolenko on 10, and Sam Ermolenko 12, Nigel Lever 3, and Stephen Morris 1. Let's have a few words down with Wolverhampton's promoter, Chris Van Straten, on his thoughts on the first leg here at Smallmead.
This was closer, I suppose, than Reading would have expected or wished for.
Yes, it's finally balanced for the second leg at Wolverhampton now, and we're quite happy with the 5 points, but obviously that last heat was a little bit unfortunate. We'd have preferred to be that little bit closer, but I'm sure the spirit within the team, you know, we can pull it back tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, how does Reading fare in Wolverhampton normally, and how much of an advantage is it to you?
Well, their biggest defeat this year, I think, was at Wolverhampton. Obviously, they'll remember that. But they'll also remember the fact that a few weeks ago, before the rain came at Wolverhampton, they were, in fact, leading us after 5 races. Yeah. So, I mean, they'll come with a job to do tomorrow. So it's going to be an entertaining tussle, but I'm hopeful that we can just pull it off in the end.
Yeah. How important is this particular cup, would you say?
Well, we won the league last year, and I'd said to the riders, I want to win all these cup trophies. I've never had much success as a promoter in the cup competitions, and I think it's amazing that here we are in September, and Wolverhampton, there's 5 major trophies in the sport, and we won the first one, the Premiership, way back in April. and now the other 4 we're still heavily involved, and I think that's absolutely marvellous when you take into account our injury problems. We've lost Graham Jones and Wayne Carter from the team that won the Gold Cup, and I think we started the season off 14 matches without defeat. So, you know, we started off marvellous, and it's a tremendous spirit that we've kept that thing going, and I'm really looking forward to this second leg of the Gold Cup final. I know if it's all possible, the lads will do it for us.
So there we are at the end of the 15 heats. It's Reading that take the slender lead to Monmore Green tomorrow evening. Reading 47, Wolverhampton 42. On behalf of Tommy Rander and Transmission and TV and Media, this is Clive Fisher for Screen Sports saying goodbye from a very wet and damp Smallmead Stadium in Reading. Hello, this is Clive Fisher welcoming you along to Monmore Green for the second leg of the 1992 Gold Cup final between Wolverhampton and Reading. Luckily, both sides are unchanged from yesterday afternoon's first leg at Reading, where the racers hold a 5-point advantage. There we see Wolverhampton full strength, Ronnie Corry at 1, Gordon Kennett 2, Peter Carlson at 3, Sam Ermolenko at 4, Charles Ermolenko, his brother, at 5, and the 2 reserves, Stephen Morris at 6 and Nigel Lever at number 7. Now for the racers, they come here, of course, with that 5-point advantage from yesterday's first leg at Smallmead Stadium. Phil Morris is their reserve at number 7, Jan Anderson at number 6. In reverse order, down the line, Ray Orton at 5. At number 4 is the Italian Armando Castagna. And their captain at number 3 is Jeremy Doncaster, former English international. And number 2 is Dave Mullett. And at number 1, former world champion Per Jonsson. Let's have a few words with the 2 captains.
Right, we got the 2 captains. The conditions are slightly improved, you say, on yesterday.
Yeah, just a little bit. The parade yesterday, you know, it's just one of those meetings where it had to go ahead, and maybe under normal conditions it might have been postponed. I'm sure Sam would agree with me there, but I think over the whole, you know, this is the meeting really. Yeah. All square. Yeah.
Oh, they say 5 points, 5 points ahead.
5 points ahead, and I think this kind of weather is unheard of in England, especially lately. But we, you know, the track couldn't be better. I think the track is in really good shape. It should be a good battle.
So there are words from the 2 captains, Sam Ermolenko of Wolverhampton and Jeremy Doncaster of Reading. So without further ado, let's go down to trackside and join the riders as they come up to the tapes for heat number 1. So the scene is set, the crowd is massive, the atmosphere here at Monmore Green is absolutely electric. Let's see which side it is who's going to lift the Gold Cup final of 1992 here at Monmore Green in probably about 75 minutes time. The full lineup for the opening race for Wolverhampton, who now of course ride in red and blue, and it's the racers who ride in white and yellow and black, reversal from yesterday afternoon at Smallmead. It's Ronnie Corry red, Gordon Kennett his partner in blue, for Reading, Per Jonsson white and Dave Mullett in yellow and black. 280-metre circuit here at Monmore Green. The track record stands at 57.7, currently held by that rider in red, Ronnie Corry, set back in 1990. And this is heat number 1 of the second leg of the 1992 Gold Cup final, Wolverhampton versus Reading. And straight away it's Ronnie Corry who's got his nose in front down the back straight. Per Jonsson in second place, looking for his partner to come round and join him, but Dave Mullett's not there. It's Gordon Kennett in third position at the moment. So with 1 lap gone, red leads Ronnie Corry, second white Per Jonsson, third is Gordon Kennett in blue, and Dave Mullett yellow-black bark in fourth position. So first blood in heat number 1 to Wolverhampton if it stays this way, and as you see from the track conditions, it's an awful lot better than yesterday afternoon at Reading, where unfortunately the rain had the biggest say on the occasion. But on this one it's a little bit better for riders and fans alike. As Ronnie Corry comes up to take the flag for 1 more lap in this opening race. Ronnie Corry, he leads. Still Per Jonsson second and Gordon Kennett third. And Wolverhampton are going to take a heat advantage here in the opening race. Just an all back slightly of that Reading lead. It's Corrie who gets there. Per Jonsson second and Gordon Kennett in third position. So a 4-2 heat advantage to Wolves in the opening race. And now after 16 races in this Gold Cup final, it is Wolverhampton on 46 and Reading on 49. So just 3 points between the two sides. And Ronnie Corrie getting a good win, I'm sure a confidence booster in heat number 1. Heat number 2, the riders coming into the line, and Stephen Morris rides in red for Wolverhampton. Nigel Lever, certainly in the thick of things yesterday at Smallby, he rides in blue. Jan Anderson in white, and Phil Morris yellow and black. This is heat number 2. 46 plays 49 in Reading's favour. As the riders settle, the starting marshal just asking them to coming just a little bit closer. Up go the tapes, the clutches are dropped, and into that first Brendan. It's Jan Anderson who's got there. Jan Anderson leads. Second place, oh, coming underneath him in red is Stephen Morris. So Stephen Morris has got there. Jan Anderson in white, trying to come back round. Great ride from Stephen Morris, locks up slightly. Jan Anderson now comes back to recapture the lead. So Jan Anderson leads. Oh, then goes Stephen Morris. And Phil Morris from Reading goes through to second position. So bad up there for Stephen Morris, and Nigel Lever has come through to third place. So 2 laps gone, and Jan Anderson leads for Reading. His partner, Phil Morris, all the mayhem in front of him, finds himself now in second position. And it's looking pretty good for Reading in this one to establish that lead again. 1 more lap to go, and the Wolverhampton reserves trying so hard to get in front of the very experienced Jan Anderson. And have to hold our hats off to poor old Stephen Morris. He was holding Phil Morris at bay, but round the final 2 bends of an eventful heat number 2, it's the white helmet colour that glistens in the night air who takes a win. Jan Anderson gets there. Phil Morris in second place, and in third place goes to Nigel Lever. So a 5-1 heat advantage to the Reading racers in heat number 2. They now lead by 54 points to 47 after 17 heats of this Gold Cup final, and Jan Anderson getting a good win in heat number 2. Take another look at that action-packed heat number 2, and it's Jan Anderson really straight from the tapes. At this moment in time, Phil Morris was back in, well, say 4th position. And Stephen Morris in red, they try to come up the inside of Jan Anderson. Jan Anderson locks up, goes out, and through comes Stephen Morris. But it was Jan Anderson who went on to get to the checker flag in heat number 2. Heat number 3, and the 2 Ermolenko boys yet again in red and blue. Charles in red, Sam in blue. Ray Morton rides in white, and Armando Castagna yellow and black. And the Ermolenkos certainly in the thick of things in Smallmead's first staging yesterday afternoon. Let's see who gets there, and it's yet again the Ermolenko brothers who hit first and second down the back straight. Red is Charles in first place, Sam going around the wide outside line, and back in third position is Ray Morton for Reading. So the Wolverhampton fans beginning to cheer in this crisp night air, and thankfully the weather is holding for us, and the crowd is absolutely massive here, packed in this very picturesque stadium here in Wolverhampton. And they've got something to cheer about now as their riders, Charles Ermolenko and Sam, play their part in heat number 3. Ray Morton back in third place, but really not putting any pressure on this pairing. Charles Ermolenko in red, Sam in blue, with 1 more lap to go in heat number 3. So this is going to bring the scores even closer again. This tie, I'm sure, is going to go down to the last neck in this one, because 2 evenly balanced sides on paper, and coming up to take the win in blue is Sam Ermolenko. Charles Ermolenko back in second place, and Ray Morton third. So a 5-1 heat advantage to Wolverhampton. And just look at the scores after 18 heats of Speedway. It's Wolverhampton on 52 and Reading on 55. And it was those Ermolenko boys who yet again do the biz for Wolverhampton in heat number 3 here at Monmore Green this evening. Coming around to the applause of the Monmore Green faithfuls, and I'm sure they're going to get a rapturous applause as they win a 5-1 advantage in heat number 3. Heat number 4, and first time onto the track for the 2 number 3s. Peter Carlson for Wolverhampton in red, and Jeremy Doncaster for Reading in white. The full lineup: Peter Carlson rides in red, Stephen Morris, the eventful Stephen Morris, rides in blue, Jeremy Doncaster in white, and Phil Morris is in yellow and black. 55 to Reading, 52 to Wolverhampton. These riders come up to the line for heat number 4. Clutches are dropped, engines roar into action, and Peter Carlson has got there. Second place in blue, coming through to join him is Stephen Morris. So a good one for Wolverhampton. Jeremy Doncaster losing ground on that second turn, locking up, having to fight his way now back over Stephen Morris, which he does with quite ease. So it's Peter Carlson leads, Jeremy Doncaster in second place. The two Morrises, Stephen for Wolverhampton and Phil for Reading, having their own little battle for the third spot in heat number 4, but Peter Carlson way in front of this one. Jeremy Doncaster in second place. Stephen Morris riding the race of his life and looking a good prospect too for Wolverhampton, it's fair to say. But the Partech sponsored rider in red, Peter Carlson leads with one more lap to go. Jeremy Doncaster second. Third place is Stephen Morris, and this will bring the old scores on the board even closer. Coming around the final two bends, it's Peter Carlson that comes up to take the win. Second place, a long way back, is Jeremy Doncaster, and Stephen Morris gets third place. So a 4-2 heat advantage to Wolverhampton. And after 4 heats here at Monmore Green, just 1 point between the two sides. It's 56 to Wolverhampton, 57 to the Reading Racers. So join us some more Speedway action here from Monmore Green after the break. To Monmore Green for the continuation of the 1992 Gold Cup final second leg here between Wolverhampton and Reading, and it really is a fitting occasion. Just 1 point now separating the two sides after 19 heats of Speedway. 57 to Reading, 56 to Wolverhampton as we move on to heat number 5, which sees the Ermolenko boys out again, and they've proved such a thorn in Reading's side already over the course of these 19 heats. Charles Ermolenko rides in red, his brother Sam in blue, Per Jonsson for Reading in white, and Dave Mullett in yellow and black. This is heat number 5. Look at the tapes, those engines roar, and who's going to show first? And yet again, the rider in blue, which is Sam Ermolenko. Dave Mullett is there, but Charles Ermolenko goes down the outside of Mullett to join his brother at the front. So it's Charles Ermolenko red, Sam in second place, who now I'm sure is going to dictate the pace of this one. Mullett is back in third place. Jonsson, to the surprise of the Reading fans who have made their way up, is back in fourth. So you can hear the crowd going absolutely crazy for Wolverhampton's calls. 2 laps gone, Charles Ermolenko leads. Has Charles all of a sudden overcome and become a heat leader here in England? It's taken quite a long time, but he's beginning to establish himself now in the Wolves side following the injury to Graham Jones. 1 more lap to go in heat number 5. Cometh the hour, cometh the man, and certainly Charles Ermolenko is proving a trump card in the last 2 weeks for Wolverhampton's quest for honours. He leads, Dave Mullett tries to go around the outside and goes into a heap in the fence. That looks a nasty crash, but it doesn't alter the race result. It's a 5-1 to Wolverhampton. Charles Ermolenko getting the win, Sam, his brother, in second place, and Per Jonsson coasting home for the third place. A 5-1 heat advantage means that Wolverhampton take the lead for the first time in this cup final after 20 heats of Speedways. We take another look at the crash involving Dave Mullett. Tries to go around the outside, finds no grip, and just goes into no man's land. That looked a very nasty crash indeed. We keep our fingers crossed that the likeable 26-year-old sheep farmer from Kent is okay as he walks back slowly to the pits. Heat number 6 with Wolverhampton taking the lead for the first time in this knockout cup tie. 20 heats of Speedway, and it's 61 to Wolverhampton, 58 to Reading. And in heat number 6 is Ronnie Corrie in red, Gordon Kennett blue, Jeremy Doncaster in white, and Jan Anderson in yellow and black. Now the pressure back on Reading as we get into heat number 6. Wolverhampton with their noses in front, and I'm sure sensing just a little bit more silverware for them as it's Ronnie Corrie and Jeremy Doncaster. Corrie who leads down the back straight. Doncaster in second place, Jan Anderson third, and Gordon Kennett back in fourth. But Rocket Ronnie leads as Gordon Kennett now comes into the thick of things and puts a challenge on the two Reading riders. Doncaster in second place, Kennett in third, and Jan Anderson now trying to come around the outside of Gordon Kennett and does it. So Ronnie Corrie in first position, not knowing what's going on behind him. The mayhem is for the minor places. Gordon Kennett now comes back into Jan Anderson. Doncaster in second place, Gordon Kennett now through the third, and that's a courageous move from Gordon Kennett the former world number 2, and Jan Andersen back in 4th position. We're on the final lap of heat number 6. Ronnie Corry looking set for his 2nd win of the night here at Monmore Green. Jeremy Doncaster back in 2nd place, and with Gordon Kennett 3rd, another heat advantage for Wolverhampton as Corry gets there. Doncaster in 2nd place, and Gordon Kennett, a good ride from him, gets the 1 point for finishing 3rd. So a 4-2 heat advantage to Wolverhampton, and after heat number 6, it's 65 to Wolverhampton, 60 to Reading, and Ronnie Corry getting his 2nd win of the night in heat number 6. Heat number 7 of the 2nd leg of the Speedway of the Gold Cup final of 1992. Peter Carlson rides in red, Stephen Morris in blue, Ray Morton rides in white, Armando Castagna yellow and black. 65 plays 60 in Wolverhampton's favour. 10 points between the two sides on the night, 23 plays 13. No tactical subs from Reading in this one. It's a time to go up on heat number 7. Let's see who gets to that first turn. It's Armando Castagna in yellow and black who's got there for Reading. Castagna leads in yellow and black. Carlson going around the outside of him. What a great ride from Peter Carlson. Carlson now leads. Castagna back in 2nd place. Ray Morton battling for 3rd place over Stephen Morris. But Morton just with his nose in front. Stephen Morris tries to put pressure on Ray Morton. Morton in white, Stephen Morris in blue. That's really where the battle lies in heat number 7. Peter Carlson now in a good lead in 1st position. Armando Castagna 2nd, and poor old Ray Morton fighting hard for 3rd place. Now just a little bit of breathing space between him and Stephen Morris, who's having a great few meetings for Wolverhampton, and in the thick of things in this Gold Cup final. Still it is Peter Carlson leads, and just look at Ray Morton having to fight all his way around this Monmore Green circuit to try and get the 1 point. But it's Peter Carlson who comes up to take the win. 2nd place Armando Castagna, and Ray Morton eventually getting the 3rd spot for Reading's goals. So heat number 7 is shared. It's 3 points to Wolves, 3 points to Reading. 26 plays 16 on the night, but just look, it's 68 to Wolverhampton and 63 to Reading. So 5 points between the two sides on that grid, and the conclusion of heat number 7. But a good win for Peter Carlson in that particular one. He collects his 2nd win of the night, and a very impressive EDS look indeed. Let's look at the battle for the minor spots. Ray Morton in white and Stephen Morris in blue, and that really was a good scrap between these two for the 3rd spot in heat number 7. Eventually it went to Ray Morton, shall I say, but it took a lot of guts, a lot of charisma before he got that position. So there we see Peter Carlson going into the applause of Ronnie Corry. A good win for him in heat number 7, his 2nd of the night, and looking very impressive indeed. Course rise from Mariestad in the Swedish Elite League, twice Swedish Speedway champion, and telling Ronnie Corry just what was going on there out on the circuit as he took Armando Castagna from the back in that particular heat. So Peter Carlson just telling all the riders just exactly what happened and what gearing he was using in that one, telling his mechanic what to do for his bike on the next ride. We move on to heat number 8, which sees a tactical sub move for Tim Sugar, the Reading team manager. He pulls out Phil Morris, and in comes Per Jonsson in yellow and black. So the full lineup is Gordon Kennett in red, Nigel Lever in blue, Dave Mullett in white, thankfully okay from his spill back in heat number 5, and tack sub ride for Per Jonsson in yellow and black. So although the scores are not different on aggregate, the scores are different on the night, so it still means that Reading can use tactical sub rides, and I'll explain a little bit more later on. And it's Per Jonsson in yellow who's got the lead. Per Jonsson leads. Blue in 2nd place is Nigel Lever, but Dave Mullett coming around the outside of him to join Per Jonsson in front. So it's Per Jonsson who leads. Dave Mullett in 2nd place. The blue habit colour of Nigel Lever back in 3rd position. So the tactical ploy by Tim Sugar of Reading is beginning to pay off. And although there's only 5 points between the two sides on aggregate, there is, before this race, 10 between the two teams in this meeting, and that's what they go on to decide tactical substitutes. Any more than 6 and you're allowed to bring a tactical substitute, that means an in-form rider for an out-of-form rider. It's simple as that. And Per Jonsson comes in for Phil Morris in this one, and looks as though he's going to do the biz for Reading's calls. He leads. Dave Mullett in 2nd place. 3rd place still Nigel Lever. There in the back straight, Jonsson. Course riding for Stockholm in Sweden, 2nd in the world final. He comes up to take the win in heat number 8. Dave Mullett tucked in behind him, and third place goes to Nigel Lever. So a 5-1 heat advantage to Reading, reduces the arrears, and on aggregate there's just 1 point between the two sides after 8 races here at Monmore Green. It's 69 to Wolverhampton and 68 to Reading. So the 27 on the night to Wolverhampton is made up of Ronnie Corry, unbeaten on 6, Gordon Kennett 2, Peter Carlson unbeaten on 6, Sam Ermolenko 5, Charles Ermolenko 5, and Stephen Morris 1, Nigel Lever 2. And for Reading, they are currently on 21 points. Janssen 6, Mullett 2, Doncaster 4, Castagna 2, Morton 2, Jan Anderson 3, and Phil Morris on 2 points. So after heat number 8, it's 27 to Wolverhampton, 21 to Reading, but on aggregate, just 1 point between the two sides. Wolverhampton 69, Reading 68. Join us after the break. Welcome back to Monmore Green, where the atmosphere is absolutely electric, with just 1 point separating these two sides. 69 to Wolverhampton, 68 to Reading. This is on aggregate. Still, the Gold Cup competition of 1992 is up for grabs as we enter heat number 9, which sees second. Jeremy Doncaster forges his way past Stephen Morris, but just look at Charles Ermolenko trying to make up ground on Jan Anderson. Certainly Charles Ermolenko has been very, very impressive over these 2 legs for Wolverhampton. Jan Anderson with 2 laps gone leads heat number 9. Charles Ermolenko second, Jeremy Doncaster third, and Stephen Morris certainly not out of things in this one. Oh, every single point is going to be battled right to the finishing line in this cup tie. Two sides well fancied for league and cup honours in 1992, both with different blends of the build-up of their sides. Wolverhampton with a very strong top 2, and Reading with a team of very, very solid all the way through. It's Jan Anderson comes up to take the win. Second place goes to the Red and Red, Charles Ermolenko, and Jeremy Doncaster gets third place for Reading. So a 4-2 heat advantage to the Reading racers in heat number 9 means that they now go ahead on aggregate again. Seesaws of Cup Tie Speedway. It's now 71 to Wolverhampton and 72 to Wolverhampton as Jan Anderson gets a good win in heat number 9. Riders coming to the line for heat number 10. Ronnie Corry in red, so far unbeaten on 6 points. His partner in blue will be Gordon Kennett. For Reading, Amanda Castagna rides in white, and Phil Morris is in yellow and black. This is heat number 10. Up go the tapes. Into that first turn, who's got there? Castagna goes from the outside gate down 4 and goes across them. Castagna leads. Corry in second place now. We could be in for a good race. Ronnie Corry so far unbeaten. Castagna goes slightly wide. Corry can't manage, but down goes the rider in yellow and black, Phil Morris. Castagna leads still. Second place, Ronnie Corry. Blue is Gordon Kennett. So Amanda Castagna at this moment leading for Reading. Ronnie Corry getting, oh, Castagna goes very, very wide. Can Corry mount up any ground? 2 laps gone in heat number 10. Corry now trying to go around the outside of Amanda Castagna, down the backside, and Corry goes through. What a great ride from the point-sized Californian. Forges his way to the front. Just listen to the crowd here at Wolverhampton. They love their speedway in the Midlands. And after the success of Coventry back in the late 70s and Cradley in the early 80s, it's Wolverhampton that now have their say in World Speedway in the Midlands. And Ronnie Corry coming up to take his win. Second place, Amanda Castagna. Third place goes to Gordon Kennett. So it's a 4-2 heat advantage to Wolverhampton in heat number 10. And Ronnie Corry, who gets his third win of the night. A great win from the back over Armando Castagna. They shake hands down the back straight. And now Wolverhampton get their noses in front yet again. Let's take another look at that fabulous manoeuvre by Ronnie Corry. At this time, Castagna just tries to lock up, bring the wheels in line. Corry gets the most grip, and just from that moment onward, wound open that throttle and forged his way to the front to go on to get his third win here in this second leg at Monmore Green. Coming round to the applause of the crowd. 75 now to Wolverhampton place, 74 to Reading after heat number 10. So we've now had 25 heats here of this knockout of this Gold Cup final of 1992. Still got 5 more heats to go to see who lifts that trophy in this particular season. We move on to heat number 11, and there Dave Mullett coming out on Jan Anderson's bike. A change of machinery, Jan tuning many of the machines for Reading riders these days. The 4 lineup for this particular race: Peter Carlson so far unbeaten for Wolverhampton, he's in red. Nigel Lever in blue, Per Jonsson in white, and Dave Mullett in yellow and black. 75 plays 74 in Wolverhampton's favour. And with 5 more heats to go before we know the outcome, this is becoming just an epic cup final. There's no other words to describe it. The script writers just couldn't have got this one any better. We wait to see what drama's left. As the tapes go up on heat number 11, who's going to be the first one to show? Jonsson goes across and Mullet is with him. So Mullet leads in yellow and black. Jonsson round the outside of him. So Jonsson leads. Mullet in second place. Peter Carlson back in third. Jonsson wide, and now Peter Carlson trying to come around the outside of Mullet, and he's got there. Carlson through to second place. Brave ride by the rider from Mariestad in Sweden. Now Mullet having his work cut out, trying to keep Nigel Lever at bay. Jonsson leads, Carlson in second place, Mullet third, Lever fourth with 2 laps gone of heat number 11. And every point, every ride, every lap is so important to the outcome of this cup final. Dave Mullet fighting hard to keep Nigel Lever at back with 1 more lap to go. Jonsson leads, Peter Carlson second, Dave Mullet third, Nigel Lever fourth, and Mullet having to work hard on that Jan Anderson bike. Coming around the final bend, and it's a win for the rider in white. Jonsson gets there. Peter Carlson second, and Dave Mullet third. So a 14 advantage to Reading, and they now snatch the lead again. Is Stephen Morris, Nigel Lever, careers into the fence on that last bend. Let's take another look at that one in slow motion. Lifts and then tries to lay down the machine, but it seems to cling to him. And so often we've seen that not only in ice racing, but in speedway, the bike just doesn't seem to leave the rider alone. So there we see Nigel Lever walking back to Graham Jones, so we wish a speedy recovery, Graham, to you. He's the injured rider along with Wayne Carter and the Wolverhampton team at the moment. Nice to see Nigel Lever, but that result means that the Reading team now go ahead. It's now 78 plays 77 in the racer's favour, with just 4 more races to go in this 1992 Gold Cup competition. So there we see Ronnie Corrie just getting ready for action in heat number 12. So far, 3 wins to Rocket Ronnie, coming from the back in his previous heat against Amanda Castagna. He lines up with a formidable pairing for Wolves. It's Ronnie Corrie red, Sam Ermolenko in blue. For Reading, Jeremy Doncaster in white and Ray Morton in yellow and black. At this moment in time, Reading lead by 78 points to Wolverhampton 77. Just 4 more heats to go, and I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the crowd is absolutely on their toes. If you could hear a pin drop at certain stages, and then when the bikes get going, it's just an almighty roar. They love their speedway at Monmore Green, and this is becoming just an epic cup final. I'm sure nobody thought that it would be down to the last 4 heats at Monmore Green, but that's just how it's happening. 2 sides, built in tradition. Of course, Wolverhampton, the current league champions in 91, and Reading back in 1990. As we go into heat number 12 of this Gold Cup final, the tapes rise. And who's the first one to show us? Ronnie Corrie, as he looks for his partner to come through and join him. Corrie lays, but Doncaster's between them at the moment. Ronnie Corrie lays, Doncaster in second place. Ermolenko switches to the inside, up the inside of Jeremy Doncaster. Has he got there? Corrie lays, Doncaster still holding on the second spot. Sudden Sam Ermolenko third, and Ray Morton back in 4th place. Corrie looking set for his 4th win of this cup tie, second leg. Doncaster doing a good job for Reading, keeping Sam Ermolenko at the back, or in 3rd spot, should I say. Ermolenko, the captain, of course, of Wolverhampton. Doncaster, the captain of Reading. So both skippers having their parts to play in heat number 12. But Ronnie Corrie leads. And if it stays this way, the seesaws in the last 4 races, it's going to mean that Wolverhampton take that 1-point lead again. Corrie leads, Doncaster second, Ermolenko third. Heat number 12. Corrie looks over his shoulder, comes up to take the win. But Doncaster for Reading gets a very, very important 2nd spot over Sam Ermolenko back in 3rd. So a 48 advantage to Wolverhampton. Just look at the old aggregate score again. It's Wolverhampton on 81 and Reading on 80, so just 1 point between the 2 sides with 3 more heats to go. Wolverhampton on the night 39, made up of Ronnie Corrie unbeaten on 12, Gordon Kennett 3, Peter Carlson dropped just 1 point on 8, Sam Ermolenko 6, Charles Ermolenko 7, Stephen Morris 1 and Nigel Lever 2. Wolverhampton, after 12 heats, are on 39 points. Reading on 33, 6 points between the 2 sides on the night. Per Jönsson 9, Dave Mullett 3, Jeremy Doncaster 7, Amanda Castagna 4, Ray Morton 2, Jan Anderson 6, and Phil Morris 2. They're on 33. But it's 81 plays 80 on aggregate in Wolverhampton's favour. And really, with the atmosphere electric here at Marmore Green, join us for the conclusion of the 1992 Gold Cup final after the break. Welcome back to Marmore Green in Wolverhampton for the final countdown of the 1992 Gold Cup final between Wolverhampton and Reading. 3 more heats to go, and at this moment in time it is Wolverhampton with a 1-point lead over Reading on aggregate. 81 plays 80 as we move on to heat number 13, which sees Peter Carlson ride in red. Peter just dropped 1 point so far. Charles Ermolenko, the fast starting Wolverhampton rider, he's in blue. Per Jönsson in white for Reading, and Amanda Castagna in yellow and black. 81 plays 80 in Wolverhampton's favour. 3 more heats to go. This is heat number 13. Into that first bend they speed, as Jönsson has got there. Per Jönsson leads in white. Amanda Castagna coming round the outside to join him at the front. Jönsson not sure his partner was there at that moment, I'm sure. Peter Carlson tries to come through to get some room, but he's not there. It's Charles Ermolenko now. He's in 3rd place. So can Juki do anything to split this? Reading pair, and he comes through, but Castagna keeps his throttle wide open. Jönsson leads, Castagna 2nd. Charles Ermolenko 3rd. 2 laps gone of heat number 13, and already coming back into this one. Charles Ermolenko trying his utmost to make up ground on Castagna. Per Jönsson way in front, Castagna having to work hard on this very small circuit. He's used to big tracks on the continent. 1 more lap to go in heat number 13. Juki Ermolenko trying to get his wheels in line and just put a bit of pressure on Amanda Castagna, but this one could be a good one for Reading. Round the final 2 bends, it's Per Jönsson who comes up to take the win, and Castagna gets 2nd place for Reading, and 3rd place goes to Charles Ermolenko. So the seesaws yet again taking place. This time it's a 5-1 heat advantage to Reading, and that means now they go into lead on aggregate. It's 82 to Wolverhampton, 85 to Reading, so 3 points on aggregate lead for the racers as we go into the final 2 heats of this Gold Cup final. Per Jönsson coming round to the applause of the crowd for a good win, and his partner in 2nd place, Amanda Castagna, means good news for Reading fans, and Wolverhampton have got to fight back again. What else have we got in store for us, we ask ourselves? Well, it all started at 4 p.m. on Sunday afternoon, a very wet and a very damp Smarmy Stadium. So we wonder now, with just 2 heats left, what we've got in store for us. Who would have thought, here we are, something after 8:30 on Monday evening, that we would have 3 points between the 2 sides with just 2 heats to go here at Marmore Green. Heat number 14, the penultimate race in this Gold Cup final of 1992. The atmosphere is absolutely electric. You can hear a pin drop until the tapes rise. This one sees Sam Ermolenko ride in red for Wolves, Stephen Morris in blue. That's the Wolves pairing. For Reading, Ray Morton rides in white and Jan Anderson in yellow and black. 3 points between the 2 sides on aggregate. 82 to Wolverhampton, 85 to Reading, and something's really got to give in this one. Wolverhampton need a heat advantage out of this one to get back, to claw their way back in this Gold Cup final. The atmosphere, the adrenaline throw in, just a little bit of psychology at the starts now as they try and psych out the opponents. Just taking a few more moments of time, and this is where the old referee tonight, Colin Reeve from Rochdale, I'm sure is going to have a big say in things, telling them to come into the line. Heat number 14 of this 2nd leg. As we wait for the green light to go on, it does. Up go the tapes, the engines roar, and the first one to show is a rider in red, which is Sam Ermolenko. He looks for his partner, is not there. Ray Morton is in 2nd place, and Jan Anderson driving round the outside of both of them. So as Sam Ermolenko leads, Jan Anderson in 2nd place. Ray Morton back in 3rd place, and Stephen Morris now comes underneath Ray Morton. This could be a very important point for Wolverhampton. Jan Anderson 2nd, Stephen Morris in 3rd place for Wolverhampton. Sorry, Nigel Lever. What an important point this could be. Sam Ermolenko leads, unaware of the battle that's going on for the minor point. It's Nigel Lever holds off the challenge of Ray Morton. Jan Anderson in 2nd place. Nigel Lever, who came into the Wolves side in June to the injury to Wayne Carter after his Division 2 side, Mildenhall, closed down and doing very, very well for them. But Sam Ermolenko leads, and this is though it could be a heat advantage to Wolverhampton. This sudden Sam looks over his shoulder, comes up to take the win. Jan Andersen in second place, and a very hard-earned point for Nigel Lever back in third position. So a 4-2 heat advantage to Wolves in the penultimate heat means that we go into a real nail-biting last heat decider with the scores on the board reading Wolverhampton 86 and Reading 87. So just 1 point between the two sides as we now go down to the final countdown. They'll only race 4 laps, which will decide the outcome of the 1992 Gold Cup final. It's just as simple as that. So heat number 15, when all questions will be answered for the outcome of this cup final. The Wolves pair, Ronnie Corry red, Sam Ermolenko blue. That's the pairing chosen by Peter Adams, the manager of Wolverhampton. Tim Sugar for Readings chose Per Jonsson white and Jeremy Doncaster yellow and black. So Corry off of gate 1, Ermolenko gate 3, Doncaster gate 2, Jonsson gate 4. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is heat 15 with 1 point between the two sides in Reading's favour as we start heat 15, and it's a Wolverhampton pair who have got there. Wolverhampton have made it, or is Doncaster come between them? Corry leads, Doncaster in second place, Ermolenko in blue. Corry leads for them, Doncaster in second place, Ermolenko third, Jonsson back in fourth. Now Ermolenko comes into the Doncaster to take second place. Oh, the trauma of this cup final. We wonder what's left for us as the Wolves pair at the front. Ronnie Corry leads, Sam Ermolenko in second place, and if it stays this way, it will mean that Wolverhampton have taken the cup final. The Wolves fans can sense victory already. Doncaster back in third, Jonsson fourth. And our Wolves now going to snatch the 1992 Gold Cup finals. We enter the final lap of heat number 15. It's all down to heat number 15 in this cup final. Is Ronnie Corry and Sam Ermolenko come round to the applause of the crowd to take the cup final. Corry punches the air with delight. Sam Ermolenko gets second place. Jeremy Doncaster back in third. But it's the Wolves pairing who bring the 5-1 and bring the Gold Cup final of 1992 to Monmore Green with an aggregate score of 91 to Wolverhampton, 88 to Reading. And I'm sure whether you support Berwick in the north down to Exeter in the south, this cup final will live in the memories of Speedway fans for a long, long time. Not decided to heat number 30 of 2 legs of this Gold Cup final before we knew which side was going to take the trophy. And it was this pairing of Ronnie Corry and Sam Ermolenko which finally brought open the bacon. Ronnie Corry congratulated by his team manager Peter Adams, who I'm sure is very pleased indeed. Tremendous performance by both sides in this cup final. The first leg, of course, run over atrocious conditions yesterday afternoon at Reading. As we take another look at that sweet manoeuvre which brought Sam Ermolenko that second place. This time tries to come around the outside of Doncaster. Doncaster too wide for that move. Then sees that Ermolenko's going to come up the inside, failing to shut the door, and Ermolenko seizing the opportunity to go through. Let's take another look as the gate goes up, the starting gate that is, on heat number 15. Corry, Rocket Corry, was first into the bend. Sam Ermolenko tried to force his way past Doncaster, but it took a lap to do it. So Wolverhampton on the night, touching 49. Corry untroubled with a 15-point maximum. Kennett 3, Peter Carlson 8, Sam Ermolenko 11, Charles Ermolenko 8, and Morris and Lever both working very hard for 2 points apiece. Wolverhampton on the evening scoring 49 points. For Reading on 41, Per Jonsson 12 from 6 outings, Dave Millett 3, Jeremy Doncaster 8, Amando Castañas 6, Ray Morton 2, Jan Andersen 8, and Phil Morris on 2 on 41. So the final outcome reads Wolverhampton 91 and Reading 88. So 3 points between the two sides at the end of these 2 legs of this Gold Cup final. So it really is, it's a congratulations to Wolverhampton and all the side and the promoter, Chris Van Straffen, and the team manager, of course, Peter Adams, who lift this Gold Cup final of 1992. But in defeat, let's think of the defeated side, Tim Sugar and Pat Bliss and all the Reading racers who've played their part in a memorable cup final, I'm sure you'll agree. On behalf of Tommy Rander and Transmission and TV and Media, this is Clive Fisher, as always, from Screen Sports, saying good night and God bless, and thanks for your company from Monmore Green in Wolverhampton. And join us for the conclusion of the Speedway Series shortly when we bring you the test match between England and America and, of course, the BLRC from Bradford.